Good morning. This is Grassroots Rising, and I'm Jimmy Skogard. The campaign started Bring a Friend on May 7th. What happened was, we stopped in at Donnell's coffee shop here in Casper. I sat down with Keith. Keith had invited Fred and Dan. Fred and Dan had brought Angela and MJ along for the conversation, and I was able to convince JR and Lionel to join us. That's how the table filled up that day. One person invites another person, and then that person invites another, and pretty soon the conversation has its own energy. No stage, no script, no consultant. Just Wyoming folks sitting around talking about what feels stuck and what still works and what kind of future we want to build. Conversation got a bit lively. We talked about politics. We talked a little frustration. We talked about why so many good people feel pushed to the edge in public life, as if decisions are being made elsewhere, are being made somewhere else by people with more money, more access, and louder microphones. But around that table, something better happened. People with different roles and different angles on the same Wyoming started listening to one another. That was the highlight moment for me. Fred brought a perspective I needed to hear. He's a scout leader here in Casper. Covers a large part of central Wyoming, and working with young people, helping to build character. Does that quiet kind of service that holds communities together long after the headlines move on. He raised something that had been eaten at him. About 10 years ago, the Boy Scouts took a hit here in Casper, I guess all the way across the country. According to Fred, the schools then quickly thereafter closed the doors on scout recruiting. His kids, his program, the next generation of young people who might have benefited from that structure were locked out of a space where community organizations used to be welcome. Dan is a local councilman. He listened, then he asked one question. Well, have you checked with the new superintendent of schools in Natrona County? Well, Fred said, well, no, I checked with the old one. So they pulled out their phones, contact information changed hands, and something shifted in that moment. Fred had walked in carrying frustration, and he walked out carrying a path forward. That's it, folks, the fourth branch of government, not a metaphor, a fact. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, works because people sit down and talk to each other, because Dan knew a name Fred was willing to ask it out loud. Control is anathema to that. Closed doors, restricted access, the steady fog of discouragement. These are tools used against civic life. The moment we stop talking, the moment we assume the door is permanently shut, we hand the decision to someone else. The next phase of this campaign is built on exactly what happened at Donnell's yesterday. Bring a friend to a conversation. Sit in that coffee shop, a church basement, a library, a park. Bring your frustration and your willingness to listen. Find the organizations already doing the work and add your hands. Research the candidates. Look at the platforms that build something real and the ones that just simply take. Sometimes the path forward is a phone number. Sometimes it's a name you didn't have before. Sometimes it means stepping up yourself because the leader you were looking for turns out to be you. Here's what keeps pulling me back to this work. Our children are watching what we do at this moment. Whether we showed up, whether we held our voice or traded it away to something with a larger bankroll and a longer agenda, that legacy is ours to shape. Fred didn't leave that coffee shop defeated. Dan didn't stay quiet. Progress bloomed from a single conversation. That's the work. That's us. If you felt the frustration of the door being closed in your face, if you sat with a problem and assumed that no path exists, then it's time for you to rise up. Time for you to volunteer. Time to share your story, speak up, bring a friend, host a conversation. Agency means the ability to decide our future for ourselves. We still hold the power of choice, but only if we use it. Our children and our grandchildren's future is in our hands now. Join the movement at schoolguard2026.org. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.